This stuff is making me see things.
Welcome back to the He-Man episode reviews, and this time it's another heckin' Don Heckman episode, The Beauty and the Beast. So this episode begins with an assault by Trapjaw's robot spiders, which have now learned to fly. He-Man and Cyclone fight them off, while Teela and Orko get ambushed by Skelly, Evelyn, and Whiplash. So Teela and Orko are captured and shot away in tubes to a far-off country. Here they wake up from Skelly's stasis and are greeted by their mysterious host, Prince Moragor, who seems oddly friendly to be one of Skelly's goons. Now, He-Man first heads to Snake Mountain to find Teela, but ends up with a big goose egg and has to go to the sorceress for help in order to finally locate them. Meanwhile, Teela gets the lowdown from her host, who turns out to be a guy with bat wings for ears. Apparently his kingdom has fallen under Skeletor's corruption. Eventually, Teela tells Moragor to grow a pair and stand up to Skeletor. Then he gets unethically tackled by Whiplash. Anyway, He-Man catches up to them and nearly stops the villains from escaping until they use the same capsules they used to send Teela to Moragor's castle to escape. And then Teela, of course, gives him a little peck on the cheek and he turns back to normal. Now, you might remember the episode No Job Too Small as being another Don Heckman script, and Heckman even wrote quite a few She-Ra scripts as well. And yes, while Heckman did pen quite a few stinkers for She-Ra, as you saw from my bottom 10 She-Ra episodes list, his output during that series was still considerably better than on He-Man. However, Beauty and the Beast is easily his best episode from He-Man, even if it is entirely because of its fairy tale plot setup, which, I'll be honest, I tend to have a soft spot for. I mean, Beauty and the Beast is also one of my favorite Disney movies. But of course, I can't discuss this episode without at least pointing out the obvious, which are these goddamn bat ears. Now, I can't entirely blame the fact that Prince Moragor looks pretty dumb just on the episode director Ernie Schmidt, but I really do have to wonder what in God's name made him look at this design and think, that's okay. Luckily, Lou Scheimer does a good enough job with his voice that it inevitably stops bothering me once the episode gets rolling. In fact, that's kind of the sad thing about Heckman. He definitely had some weird ideas. Let's not forget the sumo wrestler from the other episode. But he actually writes decent dialogue, and I do think in this episode he had a pretty good handle on the characters, Evelyn in particular. Now yes, Teela and Orko are maybe uncharacteristically passive until the final act, but since Prince Moragor isn't just a dime a dozen Skeletor henchmen, it actually creates a fairly novel setup for the characters. Although, as I pointed out before, Skelly trying to force a right-minded character to work against the heroes is ultimately fruitless. However, this episode has a really solid look and feel, and the characters act very well, and I think the callback to the tubes at the end is also pretty funny. Yes, it does feature another pointless Cyclone cameo. I mean, this character is literally so boring that I forget half the time which episodes he's even in. This is all around a pretty solid episode, not necessarily outstanding, but entertaining and with a good message at heart. And maybe I'll take a look at Heckman's She-Ra episodes next. Until then, I have the power, so can you.